All right, what's up, my friends? Welcome. We're doing our Jumpstart Historic Horizon set review. We're doing top 5 cards in each color. Now we're on to green. Let's roll right along. These are our cards that are new to Historic, and these are the cards that are going to be, we're judging them on the context of the Historic format. First up is Sylvan Anthem. This card's good. Really, really good. Green for an enchantment. Your green creatures get +1/+1. But perhaps more importantly, you get to scry 1 for each green card or green creature that enters the battlefield under your control. And this card's obviously pretty narrow. Mostly only good in like an elves deck or something like that. You know, maybe Stompy, but probably not. Mostly for elves. But very, very powerful effect. I mean, the big thing here is also this is not a creature. So you play this to pump your squad. They anger you. It's still in play. And then, of course, these creature decks have a problem of, like, just drawing gas in the mid-game. They can't really flood. They got to find the right cards. If a scrying is constant scrying. Card's super solid. Super solid. Definitely narrow, but definitely a very powerful card. Excited to see how it plays out. There's some power here. Up next is Sanctum Weaver. And there's a whole bunch of Enchantress cards here. All right. 2 mana for an 0/2. Adds X mana of any one color, or X is the number of enchantments you control. Now, this card wouldn't be good if there weren't other Enchantress cards already there, but Enchantress presence is already legal in Historic thanks to an anthology, and then our multicolor cards will show us another Enchantress as well, and this is a pretty big linchpin for an Enchantress kind of deck. This can make a lot of mana really, really fast. There are a lot of cool enchantment cards. Obviously, Theros is legal. I think Enchantress could be a real deck in Historic going forward. A lot of its tools from Modern are there, and a lot of the natural predators in Modern aren't there. Tron, Amulet, things like that. So the good news is no solitary confinement. That's a really annoying one, but a lot of good cards in the format for Enchantress, and this is going to be a pretty good one. It does die to Stomp. It does die to removal spells and stuff like that, but still a powerful card. Helps to draw fire from our other card we'll see in a little bit as well. Narrow, but powerful. Our number 3 card is Long Tusk Stalker, a new card here. Once again, we're seeing the digital-only mechanic here. 1 mana for a 1/1. Comes into play or attacks, you get an energy. Pay 2 energy, it perpetually gets +1/+1/+0, and choose a creature card in your hand, and that card also gets +1/+0 permanently, so perpetually. Now, this card is super awesome because I think by itself, it's actually very reasonable. Even just by itself, you play it on turn 1, you attack on turn 2, pay it 2 energy. Now we have a 2/1 for 1, which is fine. And then it also makes your, whatever in your hand have +1 power, which is pretty good also. And then it scales well. And then, of course, it also makes the other energy cards really, really good as well. So I think this card's awesome. I think this card has potential to see play just by itself without other energy cards. But could also be a card that makes energy reasonable too. Again, as I said this whole set review, there is a huge lack of good 1-drops in Historic. So any 1-drop needs to be looked at in a close eye. So card's super cool. Like it a lot. Again, I love the digital mechanics. This is a really, really cool one. And this card's really good. Don't sleep on this card. It looks pretty innocent, but I think this card's actually really, really awesome. Coming in at number 2 is Hardened Scales. And this could easily be number 1. There are a number of these effects already in the format. There's Conclave Mentor in green-white. There's Winding Constrictor in green-black. And we've seen this card see tons of play in Pioneer, in Modern especially. Very, very, very powerful card. And there are a lot of counter stuff happening. There's no Walking Ballista. There's no Hangerback Walker. No Arcbound Ravager. So it doesn't have a lot of the pieces it has in Modern. But that's okay. I think there's still tons of good cards. There's a lot of modular cards in the set. There's just a lot of things happening. And this card can make things out of control pretty quickly. So powerful card. More of a build around, but one of the most powerful build arounds you can have. It's cheap. It's hard to remove. It's efficient. Very, very powerful card. And we come to our final card here. Our number 1 card in Jumpstart for green is Freelise, Sky Shroud Partisan. This is the card that's going to make Elves good in Historic. Elves is like a fringe best of 1 deck in Historic right now. Can't beat Sleepers and so on and so forth. This card is unreal. Green 1, Planeswalker, 4 loyalty, which is a lot. Has a plus ability to untap an elf. If the elf, that elf and a random elf in your hand perpetually get +1/+1. This is Sorin for elves. I completely agree. Turn 1 Llanowar Elf. Turn 2, cast this. Untap Llanowar Elf. Now it's a 2/2. Buff one of your elves. Cast another 1-drop and say go. And that is just an unbelievable opening with one of the best 1-drops already in the format in Land or Elves. It also has the ability to minus and just draw any elf card. Seek means to draw. Seek is like a new mechanic, and it says basically it picks a random card of a subset and draws it. So you'll draw a random elf card. That's phenomenal. Very, very powerful. -1 draw card. 4 loyalty, folks. 4 loyalty. This card is unreal. Unreal good. Extremely powerful to the point where, like, if they're going to be nerfing these cards pretty aggressively, I can see this card getting nerfed because it's just actually that good. And then the ultimate is to conjure a Regal Force, which is a 8-mana creature. Comes into play. It's a 5/5. You draw 1 card for each creature you control. That's also a passable ability as well. So, yeah, the new Oko for Elves, Sorin for Elves. This card is unbelievably good. Like, unbelievably good. However good you think this card is better than that. I promise you. And I agree it has maybe 1 or 2 much too loyalty. Untapping Land or Elf is just way too good. It is way too good. And the big thing is, elf decks are weak to sweepers. This card, you play it on turn 2. You can't anger the gods this card. So, super, super good. Super, super powerful. Unbelievably good. Best green card by a mile. Not even close. YouTube folks, I love you. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think your best green card is and your thoughts in general on digital mechanics and so on and so forth. Thanks so much. We got multicolor coming up.